Welcome back. This video is going to be about text and fonts, and I assume that you know how to get to this area now. So we're just going to go straight into adding text. If you notice, the drop down arrow in the text box has several fonts that we've loaded to cover every plaque need. More than you even know what to choose from. I like to type in something in my text box so I can see what's going to happen. I was going to work on a pet plaque, so I'm going to type in a few sentences from that. They are gone from our site, but never our memory. So when I use these other functions, I can see what would happen. This is obviously the size of the font. And you can always change this in edit layer later on. But it's nice to see what will happen to this type when we're working in it now. The color of the font itself is white, and since we don't have an image in the background, we probably should change the color to a color that we can see over white. I will pick blue. If we hit bold and it doesn't do anything, it means it's probably too fancy of a type, or it just can't handle those two functions. If you end up picking a more basic font, that's when these bold functions and italicize function will work as another option. See, I don't think the bold will work on that. Yeah. And then your justification of type will be all the way to the left, down the center, or to the right. On this particular plaque, I wanted to go on the left. And then this button here is going to be the spread of the type. If you need to fill a certain area without changing the size of the font, you can just do the up arrow to spread it out. And you can even go down and make it tighter. And then this last button is for the spread. If you have two rows of type, it will spread them apart or pull them together if you're trying to squeeze it in a certain area. Once we hit update text layer, it drops into our plaque, and then we can move it and add our drop shadow at this point. And then in the edit drop shadow is where we have a few more choices. The shadow angle is the sun angle to create the shadow on the layer of type. You can see it move as you turn the dial around the circle. And then the color of the shadow itself is in this box. You select it if you'd like to change the color. A dark black seems to be a good default on a white background. If you were working on a black background or a darker background, you can select this button here on the right, and it will show you what would happen. See how black doesn't show now, so we want to choose a lighter color, and then it will show our glow. And the distance and how blurred it is. So you can't see the drop shadow when it's white. Okay, so we're going to go back to the darker shadow color. And again, this is how sharp the actual blur is to the layer of type, the distance from it, and the opacity of the black. You just want a subtle, and the blur, and then we'll come down here, and then we hit apply shadow changes to have that take. Alright, that's how we do type.